Once upon a time, there was a man named John. He lived with his wife, Mary, and their 2 children. John worked in a factory, but the job didn't pay well. His family often struggled to buy food and pay bills. Despite these problems, John was known for one thing: he never lied. He always told the truth, even when it was hard. One day, John lost his job. The factory was closing, and everyone was being laid off. John was scared. He didn't know how he would take care of his family. That night he sat at the dinner table, quiet and worried. Mary noticed and asked, "What's wrong, John?" John hesitated. He didn't want to worry his family. But he sighed and told the truth. "I lost my job today." Mary looked shocked. "What are we going to do now? We have bills to pay, and the kids need food." John didn't have an answer. He promised to look for another job soon. The next day, John went out to look for work. He went from store to store, asking if anyone was hiring, but nobody had a job for him. As he walked through the town, he saw a wallet on the ground. It was full of money. John picked it up and looked around. No one was there. He could keep the money, and nobody would know. He thought about his family. They needed food, and they needed it now, for the first time in his life. John was tempted to lie. John took the wallet home. He didn't tell Mary where he got the money. He told her, "I found some extra work today." Mary was happy. She didn't ask any questions. John used the money to buy groceries and pay the bills. For a moment things seemed better, but John felt guilty. Every night he couldn't sleep. He knew he had lied. A few days later, the local police came to John's house. They were looking for the lost wallet. "Someone reported losing a wallet full of money. Did you happen to find anything?" the officer asked. John's heart raced. He didn't know what to say. If he told the truth, he would lose the money and his family would struggle again. But if he lied, he could be in serious trouble. "I haven't seen any wallet," John said, lying for the second time. Days passed, and John tried to forget about the wallet. But one morning, the police came back. This time, they had evidence. "Someone saw you pick up the wallet, John." "Why did you lie to us?" the officer asked, his voice firm. John was scared. He didn't want to go to jail. He didn't want his family to know what he had done. But the truth had finally caught up with him. I did find the wallet," John admitted. "I took the money. I was desperate." "I'm sorry." The officer shook his head. "Lying made this worse, John. You'll have to return the money, and you may face charges." John felt ashamed. He had tried to hide his mistake, but now the problem was bigger than ever. When John told Mary the truth, she was shocked. "How could you lie to us?" she asked, her voice full of hurt. John hung his head. "I didn't know what else to do. I was afraid we wouldn't survive without the money." Mary was silent for a moment. "I understand you were scared, but lying only made things worse. Now we're in more trouble." The children didn't understand why their father was in trouble, but they could see the sadness on his face. John had always taught them to be honest, but now they saw him as a man who broke his own rule. John had to go to court. He stood in front of a judge and admitted his crime. "I found the wallet and kept the money. Then I lied to the police. I'm sorry." The judge looked at John carefully. "Lying to the police is a serious crime. You could have returned the wallet, but instead you chose to lie. That decision has consequences." John's punishment was harsh. He had to pay a fine, and he spent a short time in jail. While he was there, his family struggled even more. Mary had to find extra work, and the children missed their father. When John came home from jail, he felt like a different man. He looked at his family and saw the damage his lie had caused. He had hurt the people he loved most. "I'm sorry," John said to Mary and the kids. "I should never have lied. I thought I was protecting you, but I was only making things worse." Mary nodded. "We forgive you, John, but we need to rebuild the trust. Honesty is more important than anything." John found a new job, working hard to support his family. But this time, he knew the importance of honesty. He promised never to lie again, no matter how difficult life became. He also went to the man who lost the wallet and apologized. The man was angry at first, but eventually forgave John. "We all make mistakes," the man said. "But lying only makes things harder." Years passed, and John's family slowly healed. They faced many challenges, but John always told the truth, even when it was hard. He taught his children that lies only lead to bigger problems. One day, John's son came home from school, looking worried. "Dad, I broke a window at school. I'm scared to tell the teacher," he said. John looked at his son and said, "I understand you're scared, but hiding the truth will only make things worse. Go and tell the teacher. It's better to face the truth now than to lie and suffer later." The boy nodded and did what his father said. John smiled, knowing that he had learned his lesson the hard way, but had become a better man because of it. From that day on, John and his family lived by one simple rule: never lie. They faced many challenges, but they always told the truth. They learned that honesty might be hard at times, but lies only bring pain. In their small town, people began to see John as a man who had made mistakes but had learned from them. He became a trusted friend and neighbor, known for his honesty. John's life was not perfect, but it was real, and he knew that no matter how difficult things became, he would never lie again.